I'd like to call the March 15th meeting of the Parks and Recreation Commission to order. First order is attendance. Commissioner Hanson,
Present.
Commissioner Rich,
Present.
Commissioner Neal,
Present.
and Commissioner Person is Council Member Weil or Mayor Weil. I'm sorry. You're on mute, Maxine.
I am present.
Parks and Recreation Director. You know, okay. We have a quorum. Are there any? There are no citizens in the room. Are there any written communications that you have at this point?
We do not have any written communications.
I will entertain a motion from the commissioners to approve the meeting minutes of let's see. March, whatever it is. February 15th.
Motion to approve the meeting minutes.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carried. Director's report.
We have a director's report. And Dawn is graciously going to swap over, so you should see my screen. So we have a wonderful director's report. First up, youth baseball is practices begin the 25th of March. And the first games are the first weekend of April. And I'm happy to report that we've had a 131% increase in participation over last year. So it's fantastic. So we have 374 players on 28 teams. So this year they'll be playing the two fields at Stacy, and we, in all likelihood, we'll be using one field at Warson. I say that with trepidation because there is a lot of construction and a lack of parking over there, but I think it's going to be okay. Yeah. So we will definitely be keeping an eye on that situation out there. We had a Holy Festival. So we haven't had Holy in a couple of years. The last time we held it was in 2020, and it was 2 weeks before the shutdown. And then we didn't have it the following year due to the pandemic. And then last year we didn't have it because Stacy Park was under construction. So it came back this year, and it was an incredible success. More people than our wildest dreams. I have a little quick video to share with you here. Let's see if it'll play. Is it playing? Doesn't seem to be playing.
What did you estimate the numbers?
We think we have, well, there it goes. Okay, there we go. So here's a little video of the day. We had between 4,000 and 5,000 people. So the last time we had it, we had about 1,000 people. So it was a considerable increase, and it was not logistically, the event itself was fine. Everything worked well. Parking was a nightmare, and it impacted the streets around. We didn't have enough no parking signs out. We had overflow parking, and that filled. And shockingly, we had only one complaint officially lodged about it. We did have a couple of compliments come in about it from residents who didn't attend, who still were very happy we did it. The most interesting thing about it is we had 0 complaints from the people that attended the event, even the ones who got their cars towed. So it was a very happy day. We were very lucky. We've had a first hot wash with the police department to kind of go over what went well, what we really need to look at in the future. So we are.
Hey, excuse me, hot
Yes.
wash.
A hot wash is a term that FEMA uses if you come through a major event, major incident. I think it grew out of the Katrina hurricane response. So you go through and you look at your positives, your negatives, and changes you need to make for the coming year. So identifying additional parking is of utmost importance. So we are going to be reaching out to some neighboring businesses and see if we can put together a parking plan. If not, we will have to really consider if we're going to be able to have it again because it was so big, and it will probably get bigger because it was so popular. And we don't know, you know, at a certain point you reach a level where people no longer want to come to your event because it's a pain. So you think about like going down to the fair, you know, Fair St. Louis. There's a lot of people say, parking's hard, it's hot, I don't want to go. I mean, there would come a time where people would say, oh, Holy Festival and all that. Yeah, parking's a pain. I don't think I'll go. We don't think we're there yet. So we really need to have a good strategy, or we just can't do it because it was overwhelming for the neighborhood. Absolutely. So one of the agencies that we are reaching out to is the Bear Campus, because it's in close proximity. There's an incredible amount of parking over there, and it has a very short walk to the park. So if we can do that, that would be fantastic. And my understanding is that maybe 15 years ago, the city did do that for events. So we'll see. But on the other hand, it was a fantastic event. And thank you, Jim, for coming out and helping us, because we did have to scramble. Originally, this event usually takes place on the grass, but after that incredible rain on Friday, we had to move on to the parking lot. So if you went by before Wednesday last week, you saw all the colors merge together and create a giant pink. So we had a pink parking lot for a little while, but we had the street sweepers in and the rain came and it was totally fine. So. Oh, that's it. I needed to advance it. That's why it wasn't going. Okay. So we're trying out Sweet Reads mobile library again.
Question for you.
Yes,
you
sir.
switch gears. So I was going to go, but I wasn't able to. That's not why I really have a comment. But from Villa Park, I could hear it. Were there any complaints of noise complaints?
No.
Okay, that's great. I just was I was waiting for there to be complaints from somebody that I don't want to hear all that noise, but
No.
that's great.
No, it is great. The second year we did it, we had a sound complaint, but this year we didn't have it.
Okay.
And one of the reasons we put out all the advertising is so people know it's happening, even if they don't want to go, they
Mhm.
know that it's out there. So, yep. So that was good. I really expected to have a lot of complaints Monday morning and I did not.
Not even on Nextdoor.
I know. Shh, touch some wood. Yeah, there was good stuff. Yeah, absolutely. And our videos up on Instagram and Facebook have been shared and tagged, and lots of people saying what a great time they had, and other people put up their videos and tagged us. So, and it really was, I mean, it was a wonderful event. So we are trying it out again. The library has resurrected Sweet Rides. I think they got some funding. So it'll be back. We're trying it out Thursday, March 30th at Stacy Park. So patronize it if you can. We're very excited about that. In this year's capital improvement budget, there was funding for the replacement UTV vehicle for the parks crew. So this is a utility technical vehicle, I believe is the correct term. Is that right, Don? Okay. So the reason we need this is, one, our old one was purchased in 1999 and it needed to be surplus. So the new one we have, aside from being new, it has some features on it that are going to allow us to do some pathway clearing. Because traditionally, after a snow or ice event, the parks crew clears all of the sidewalks in front of the parks and the city center, and they do the lots. But we don't do park pathways. And one of the reasons we don't do them is because they do everything by hand with shovels and with snow blowers. This vehicle has a spreader on it and it has a plow on it. So it will allow us to clear specific areas of some of the parks. So for example, Stacy Park, we probably won't clear all the pathways, but do like a loop and get to the restrooms. And then along the Centennial Greenway, we can do some sections of that. So I think that it will really be a nice tool. And in addition to that, it's rugged and we can use it in the park. We can get into the back of Villa Park with it on the pathways without going out into the grass and disturbing a lot of our new plantings and things like that. Because when we just had lots of mowed turf, it didn't matter if we rutted it up, but now we have our native plantings and we really want to be more of a precision operation. We won't be the botanical garden, but we will no longer be, the outer 40. So
Is there a requirement with the new Centennial that we maintain that?
the city does accept the greenway and we maintain it. That is correct. Yes.
Do we take on any legal responsibility if we clean it, but it's not clean enough and somebody slips?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
Because otherwise we wouldn't clean our sidewalks right now. Yeah. But I will double check
Okay.
on that. But just like with skate parks, if you have signage or whatever, then you're covered. So we'll double check on that.
Okay, because I
Yeah.
think a lot of the signs I've seen say we don't clear it. So I'm assuming we
That's
switch
true.
those out.
And we will I think we've taken most of those down because they were so faded and horrible looking. Yeah. And people are still using the parks even if we don't clear.
True.
So one of the reasons we want to start clearing is because when we don't clear it and people are still using the parks, they tend to go off on the sides and create horrible ruts out in the grass and the other planted areas. So this will also help us do a little better, keep people more on the pathway as well.
Thank you.
Yeah. So good question, Bill. Okay, we have some personnel updates. So, Dawn, do you want to share your news?
Tomorrow is my last day for the city of Olivet. My wife has gone back to work after 14 years of being out of the workforce, and now has allowed me to take a step back and maybe enjoy some things for a little bit, and then get back into a role that that I'm passionate about and go again.
So we,
Thank you so much for your service for the last few years.
yes,
And
absolutely.
thank you.
We shared the pandemic with Dawn. Dawn got hired and then we shut down. So, so it was wonderful to have him on board. So thank you very much. Got some great photos of here. Dawn was a great burn participant. And then, that's our bitter news, but our sweet news is that Ed Kastner accepted the full-time position as limited equipment operator with the city. So he will be starting on April 3rd. So, and that's a familiar name to a lot of people because he was our park board chair for a very long time. So we're losing Dawn, but we're gaining Ed. All right, we have upcoming events. Not next, but in a couple weeks, Thursday, March 30th, we're doing our first co-sponsored lecture with Olivet and Bloom, and they in turn have brought in the St. Louis Herb Society. So we have a specialist from the Herb Society, she's a docent from Missouri Botanical Garden, a master gardener, and she's going to be talking about indigenous herbs of North America and their application, how they were used by indigenous people and how people can use them again today. So that's very exciting. It'll be here at 7:00. And then our Starry Nights is back at Stacy Park. So this is the event that we had to cancel because it was 10 degrees. So this is our makeup for that. So we're very excited that is also during one of the peak migration times. So we might potentially see some super high traveling birds too. So that would be really exciting. And that is.
They travel at night?
They do. Majority of the birds migrate at night, and that's why having lights that don't shine directly up is so incredibly important.
Question on Puzzlepalooza and spring break camps. How's that going?
Spring break camp is full and Puzzlepalooza has space for only one team.
And looks like you're doing some software training.
We are. Yes, we did 3 days of intensive software training with the parks, with the recreation staff, installing or updating our point of sale, and then creating the big membership card system we'll be using. And then Also, we're starting to create all of the rooms in Five Oaks so we can start booking them. We have a list of 10 people right now that have their dates on that list and they want to pay money and get their reservations for the new building, sight unseen. They're very excited. We have our first 2024 one as well.
Are there any reservations for the kitchen?
I don't know. I
Okay,
don't know.
great. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
City council report, Maxine.
As everyone knows, Barb is in the process of, gearing up for her retirement. Her last official date, it will be Monday, April 3rd. And, at our final, council meeting on March 28th, we are going to bid her farewell and pay tribute and honor her. So we are hoping that people will join us for that. It will be followed with some light refreshments. So I hope that all the council members on Parks and Rec can join us. And we're working very closely with her. Last night, Darren Mann was approved to be the interim city manager because we're in the process of hiring, but the person won't be hired by April 3rd. So Darren is going to serve as the interim city manager. We have an ad out. The applications close on Friday, March 31st. And we're hoping, we've already had a handful of resumes come in and applications. The council is working very closely with Julie Stone from Stone Consulting to through the process. And at this time, Barb has been graciously involved, and we're thrilled and that we've made a lot of headway in the process, but the hard work's ahead of us. And we're going to miss her. It's going to be very bittersweet. She's been a real asset to our community. Looking over the parks, I mean, last night at the council meeting, they gave us our monthly dashboard, which was great, which I'm not sure if you're going to see later tonight, but we've also asked Greg Yowitz to start giving us a monthly dashboard for 170 for Olive Crossing. And that was presented last night as well. So if you go on to last night's meeting agenda, or when the minutes are posted, you'll be able to see that. And we also had a report last night from Bruce McGregor, who gave us an update on the Gateway greening and the Centennial Walkway, and how from 170 all the way down through the Hilltop area where the Union Pacific Railroad used to be, back behind along River to Pear behind Indian Meadows, and connecting up with Orson Park. It's just amazing and phenomenal to see. So I can't wait for that to be posted as well. But it's just a busy time in all of our departments. Last week, I was thrilled to participate Friday evening at the MML, which is our municipal league for the metropolitan area. And we had the honored, oh no, it wasn't the MML, I'm sorry. It was through the Chamber of Commerce for Creve Coeur and Olivet. And we honored one police officer and one firefighter from each community, from the county, from Creve Coeur, and from Olivet. And we were really proud of our showing and the professionalism that these officers exhibit every day, and their commitment to our community. And it was just a special night. So I don't know, are there any other questions at this time?
I have none.
I just want to, Maxine, when was?
Well, thank you. There's just a lot going on. I'm sorry I couldn't physically be there. Bill, I couldn't hear you.
Bill had a question.
Oh, when was the event for Barb? I didn't get the date.
At her final council meeting on Tuesday, March 28th.
Thank you.
And we will be posting a flyer and sending that out to the whole community.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
The next item is commissioner reports. I am not aware of any. I know we're trying to get together with some of the folks in terms of how we do commissioner walkthroughs. It did not work for this meeting, but we're on it and we're trying to do that. And I think in terms of following is we're opening the centers and also doing the park openings. We will have events and we will work with that and working with staff on that as well. So I don't know, does anybody else have anything that as far as working groups? I haven't heard, okay. We'll go on to the master plan and everything that's happening. I was over at the old community center yesterday, took some pictures. There's nothing left except a slab and some metal and some excavators. That is up on the hill, down at the in the lower part of Orson. There's a great community center that's coming out of the ground.
Absolutely. So thank you for that. That's a nice segue. So things are moving along pretty rapidly in the community center right now. Every time I go, I went today and all of a sudden the whole multipurpose room sheetrocked and the fitness area is sheetrocked on the upper areas and the sides. And I'd say about 80% of the windows are in. So it's amazing to walk in and look out the window and see the views. It's absolutely wonderful. So we definitely will get another commissioner tour on the books. And I think I had did I put a suggested one in here? Yes, I am suggesting that we do a site tour on Friday, March 18th at 4 p.m. The people that are in attendance now, is that a good time for you? If not, we can
I believe
scrap
that
it.
Friday is the 17th,
Not the 18th?
not the 18th. Saturday's the 18th.
You are correct. Friday, the 17th. I have a European style calendar right now on my wall and I keep doing that. So my apologies. Good thing it's not an airline flight I'm booking, huh? Okay, so if it's convenient for and people are available right now, if we had 4 that could do it, I'll do it. And then for the people that aren't here, I can do another one. I go there regularly, so it's okay, to schedule more than one because, I need to be there all the time. So today I took through 2 business owners that are moving a business to Olivet. And they're very interested in having the membership be a benefit for their staff. So they wanted to see it. I gave them the fees, and that was very exciting. They are a biotech company coming in. They're currently located over in the Bridge Park and they're moving to the industrial park in Olivet as they grow. And they're hoping that this will be a carrot for, for their recruitment for staff. So I thought that was pretty exciting. So,
So does that work for folks?
I'm definitely tentative. I probably will. not
tentative,
attend.
okay.
Okay,
It's 4
17th.
p.m.
17th at 4.
I would also be tentative, but I'll try my best.
Okay.
Travis?
Yeah, I think it'll work for me. If you
Okay.
got a larger group, that should be okay.
Let's go for it.
Okay.
And we also invite council.
I'll send
Okay.
it out to everyone
send-
and those
just
that
send
can
an
make
invite
it,
out.
Yeah, I'll send an
Okay.
invite. Yep. Okay, terrific. We have heard from the contractor that substantial completion, they're really looking at the last week of June. Right now, we are waiting on some components for HVAC system. As we've heard this from not just our project, other projects as well. But that would mean that we would move in July. So I am tentatively saying that we will open the first week of August. However, we are not going to book any rentals until October 1. Because the worst thing we could do to a family is say, yes, you can have your family event here, and then we suddenly cancel, and how are they gonna, pivot
Did you say October 1?
October 1?
And
Yes.
what about the exercise areas and the yoga areas?
Well, that's different. I'm talking about if someone books a
Right,
rental.
okay.
Yeah, because right now our classes that are going on, they'll stay here until we're 100% sure it's okay for them to go over there.
Okay,
So for so my thought is, as we transition into moving over there, the staff will keep their offices, everything will stay here, but we'll be over there working, getting it prepared. And then at some point we'll have to pull the trigger and they're there 100%, similar to the way we moved in here. But the classes will probably stay here until we're absolutely sure everything's running correctly. We've gone through all the fire drills, understanding how the building locks, it's a much more complex building than we're accustomed to. And we're going to have a lot of new staff. So there'll be a lot of intensive training. So I do have some pictures for you. If Don could share my screen. So you see, I apologize before you switch over. So you see some pictures here. So the stone is going up on the outside of the building. That's one of the big exciting changes. Every time I go over, it's very different seeing the stone go up. And then you can also see the interior shots with all of the sheetrock going in, which is phenomenal. So since these pictures were taken, all those areas are now fully rocked. So it's very exciting. Okay, thank you, Don. I apologize. Okay, so I have some more for you. So this is what it looked like last Monday. This is the very first chunk coming out of the building. And I have to say how impressed I am with the equipment operators from Spiritus. They use these giant machines with incredible precision. And the other thing to be cognizant of is everything's getting recycled. So all of the metal is getting recycled and they separate it by aluminum, stainless steel, chrome, or steel, and they separate them out. It's amazing. The brick and the mortar and the concrete is all also being recycled. So that really makes me very happy that it's all getting repurposed, reused. And then here's what it looked like this morning. So I took this morning and you can see absolutely it is gone. It's just the slab. They're going to start pulling the slab up next. And the slab is the reason that we probably won't be able to save the big trees there. Because when the slab comes out, two things happen. One, it can damage the root system. And two, it also takes, those roots have been under there and a lot of them will be right up against it. So they'll be fully exposed. So we probably, odds are we're going to lose every tree, sadly. Either we take them down now or they die a slow death and they become dangerous. So it's heartbreaking, but that is the case.
is the plan to have the demolition people take them down?
I believe it's a separate contractor.
Okay,
And we'll do the same thing, harvest the large trunks for the sawmill and not the landfill. And then there's something, the other thing, they have to be incredibly careful also because there's a giant storm drain that flows under this building and goes to the back. So right here, there is a giant storm drain and we cleaned it out. Like you saw pictures of that last year where we rebuilt it and cleaned it out. It flows all the way under the building and comes out on the backside. And that is a really important component. So when they take this off, they have to be very careful that they do not damage that. And also over here is our backflow prevention device that is for the irrigation out in the Olivet and Bloom Garden. And they have to be very careful about that too. So we've got lots of barricades around that. And then I have for your enjoyment, now let's see if I do this right. If I can play it correctly this time. Here we go. Here's the latest time lapse. I think one of my favorite things is watching those walls go up. And it stops here, but this is exciting to see that they, this week have been shaping all of the curbs for the new parking lot that goes in the front. So when it's all graded, the concrete's going in, they've got the rock coming in for the base layer. So when I was out there today, that was very exciting to see that. So pretty soon we will have curbs and gutters and pavement. I don't know, I'm not exactly sure when that pavement will come in because they always want to be very careful that the big equipment doesn't go on it after they've freshly poured it. So it may be bare earth for a little while, but the curbs and gutters will be there.
It was
So
a cool video.
yeah, isn't it?
I'm glad
So-
you shared that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm putting it up on a regular basis on the city website. This one has not gone up. The one that's up right now is, I think, to the end of February, but I'll be putting it up tomorrow. I'm trying to do it every 2 to 3 weeks. So, okay, great. I'm happy to answer any questions.
With the parks, I understand there's a few punch list items.
There absolutely are. So right now, they're working on the water at Villa, the new water supply for the splash pads. The new water supply went in at Indian Meadows a couple weeks ago. And then they'll be putting in all the valves. And then you've also probably seen the pads are going in for the valve covers. So we ordered those big cages that are going to go all over all of those very expensive above ground water controllers for the splash pads. We don't want those to get scavenged.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
noticed at least at Villa, it's in,
Yes, yes.
so.
They had to be custom made. Those things are massive. They're so big. They're going to start testing everything the water officially goes on in the park restrooms and the drinking fountains by April 15th. So after that, they'll start testing and flushing everything. However, the splash pads will not be operational until Memorial Day. So we've updated the park brochure and the website to say that the splash pads will operate from Memorial Day to Labor Day. It's just too cold in April anyway for those little splash pads. So so if anybody asks, Memorial Day to Labor Day, that's when it'll be open.
And what is the estimate on when the dog park will be open?
That is a tough one. So the grass has definitely started growing. We are struggling to get the mesh up without pulling out the grass by the roots. It is not, it's not decomposing at the rate we had hoped. So Brian's doing some experiments. He's talking to a couple of turf experts to see is there anything we can do. Don went out with the mowing contractor. He's a little worried that it's going to get caught in his mower. We are finding bits of it all over the park. Now it does 100% dissolve, but just not very quickly. So as far as the dog park, I don't want dogs to get hurt in it. So we'll probably have to go out there. We may need volunteers. I may ask for volunteers to go out and help us pull it out. So we'll see.
So is Stacy essentially complete?
Stacy is essentially complete. Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
they're coming back to do things. We keep finding things. So they came back and worked on the handrail and, as with anything new, we find little things. And so the Hankins Construction's been very good about coming out immediately, anything that needs to be done and just swapping it out. There is a broken stopper at Stacy Park. I never forget. I always use the wrong terminology where the curb guard that your parking lot wheels go up against. One got hit by a plow. So we thought that the contractor hit it, but it was from the plow. So we're replacing that one ourselves and it'll be a while. before we do that
So
one.
essentially, we're handling things with the parks under warranty as
Yes.
opposed to.
Correct. And the horticulturalist is going to be keeping a sharp eye out on all the plantings because as things come out of dormancy, some things may not come out of dormancy because you remember we had that incredible drought. I shouldn't say incredible. We did have a drought last summer and fall, which was a really tough time for new plantings. So we will be keeping an eye on that.
One more question about Villa.
Yes.
Are all the barbecue pits staying?
No, they are coming out, but we can't get in there to take them out. The ground is incredibly soft and those special soils are in there and you've got young grass. So we will be pulling them out, but probably when things start to really warm up, I would imagine around May or June, we'll be.
So
pulling
they
those
are
out.
all coming out.
Yes, they're all coming out.
The other question is the swings that are left there.
Yes.
We're just leaving them exactly how they are?
Well, there's, what do you mean? You mean tied up
No.
or
they're
or the
being-
missing one?
Yeah.
There's a missing one. Yeah. Yeah, there's a missing one. Jim's found a place where we might be able to source the hinges for it. They
Okay,
don't make those particular ones anymore, so we're looking at some retrofitting.
it's just, there's a beautiful new stuff and then you got old stuff. So anything we can do to make the old stuff not look so old.
Yeah. It's
Trust me,
it's
we've
heirloom.
discussed this.
Yeah, it's heirloom. It's historic and folkloric.
It's the arch.
It's just amazing how much worse it looks when you fix it up.
Yeah, yeah. And when there's no tree leaves to, sort of mask it. Yeah,
Have we had any other issues with graffiti or?
We have not.
Good.
we have not. It's been a good spell.
Any other questions? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Future agenda items, we've gone down through there. I think I talked about the park commissioner walks. We're going to try to get a format that we can do that. Where those of us on the commission will periodically go through the parks and see that with a fresh set of eyes, but also looking at from the perspective of the users. As opposed to just sort of nitpicking at maintenance items. So we'll be working at that. The plans are ongoing. Is there any update on the cricket? On the cricket donation?
There is not.
Okay,
But I'm anticipating something either next month or the following month. But we've put money in the budget for the concrete pads, so we can't take any action until it gets funded.
okay. And then we'll be working with commissioners on time capsule for the community center. As it turned out, my understanding is there was no time capsule at the elementary or at the community center. So that's kind of gone away, but I think we'll be doing something in the future for commemoration of the various organizations that have been part of that building. And I don't know, is that going to be a plaque out front, or is the plan at this point that it'd be something at the community center?
The old community center capstone was taken down and we've saved it. It's in beautiful condition. We are going to build a very small concrete monument and face it with stone and embed that in it. It's going to get the base of the flagpole. Olivet and Bloom has identified an area where it can be put. They won't plant any plants there. But we don't know when that'll happen. My guess is the earliest it could happen is fall.
Okay, I
Yeah.
mean, but there is a plan to be.
There's a
working-
plan. It may end up
work-
being a multi-year plan. We
Yes.
shall see.
As a lot of plans are. So dates, I think we've talked about all of those. There's lots of them there, so I would encourage people to take a look at them. Our next meeting is on April 19th. So are there any other questions that people either on Zoom or here have? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion for adjournment.
Oh. Adjourn, and then I have a question, a comment.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
I think it would be helpful for this commission. Oh, can you hear me?
Maxine had a question.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought she said adjourn and then she has a question.
Oh, did we?
It's okay. I'd like to make a recommendation, and we can get this out to the other people, that moving forward, the rule should be plan on being here unless you let Bev know you're not attending, so that we know so that we always know we have a quorum. 'Cause
That
I mean, I
makes,
know it's spring break and some people are gone, but I think this is one of the few commissions that gets reminders for the meeting each month. Unless people really feel like they need that, then we can continue doing it. But I want to, make it simpler and make sure that we always have a quorum.
yeah, if we can encourage people to put it on their calendars as a recurring one. I know, for instance, I'm not going to be here in May. But yes, if people could put that out, I would really appreciate it. Do I hear a motion for adjournment?
Making a motion, we adjourn?
Second,
I second it.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.